This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto from the Bell Activation Zone at Circuit Villeneuve, and we are just one day away from race day. But today was also pretty massive, as qualifying literally just wrapped up moments ago. But before that, we had some massive news from practice this afternoon, as rain was a major factor, and Carlos Sainz crashed hard into the wall at turn 1, damaging both the front and rear of his car. His car was repaired though, and he did take part in qualifying. We'll get to him in a second, but we'll start with Max Verstappen, who won his 5th pole of 2023 and 25th career Formula One pole. Nico Hülkenberg will be in position 2. Hülkenberg was summoned to the stewards at 6:40 today though, but at the time we were posting the show, we still don't have any update on if there will be a grid penalty or not. And Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso in position 3, his 4th top 3 start of the season, and 2nd start at the Canadian Grand Prix. But his teammate Lance Stroll will be in position 13. Stroll avoided disaster in Q2. He did still clip the wall, but did not take on too much damage. This track is dangerous when it's wet like this. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell of Mercedes will be in position 4 and 5. Sainz was in P8 but was given a 3-grid penalty and moved down to 11. And tomorrow the big day is finally here. You can watch the Canadian Grand Prix on TSN. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Now joined by our racing guy, Lucas Wacker, who's on the other side of the track. Lucas, let's get right into this. What's your biggest takeaway from today's qualifying session as we head into tomorrow's race?
Well, I think we all knew, Marissa, that Max Verstappen was the guy to beat this weekend. So let's move on from the pole winner himself. We got to look at the guys in 2nd and 3rd. Nico Hülkenberg with an unbelievable 2nd place starting position. Shades of Fernando Alonso with Alpine last season in the rain conditions on the Saturday of qualifying. And then, of course, the Spaniard himself for Aston Martin in 3rd position. You've got 2 contenders there that necessarily haven't been up there all season. Fernando, of course, has been in that 3 spot. But Nico Hülkenberg can bring home some solid points for Haas. That's what I'm really looking forward to seeing, is how well he can maintain up there. I don't think it'll be too long lasting per se, but I do think that he'll give him a show out there. And I think these conditions really, Marissa, it shows what teams, how good they are adaptability wise. This is no joke. To be here on the ground and witness how the rain goes from one heaviness to the next, it's really difficult for these teams to project. So hats off to everybody that made it onto Q3 this week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the race has in store tomorrow.
Lucas Wacker, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Marissa.
Okay, we've been here in Montreal all week and got some pretty nice access with some of the teams. Earlier in the week, Red Bull took us through their garage and even for pit crew practice. As you'll see here in the latest edition of Roberto on the Go. F1 week is so crazy because you never really know who you're going to see and what kind of access you're going to get, but today we're getting it all, baby. We're going VIP access with Red Bull. That includes going into their hospitality suite, seeing Tim Rainey interview Max Verstappen. He was there with them for 20 minutes. These are the kind of snackies we have out at the Red Bull suite. We got croissants, we have Danishes. Kent Brockman would be so happy. We've got the boys on the board. And when I say you never really know who you're going to see, Danny Ricciardo walked in at the exact moment I was sipping a Spro, and I had to ask him what it was like to be the most popular guy in F1. And honestly, he was too humble about it.
If you say so, it's pretty good.
Fernando busted out this incredible goalie stick signed by Max and Checo. And the fun did not stop there. We had a little garage tour, even though I can't take you fully inside. I do get to show you this. Welcome to pit stop practice. All right, that noise shook me every single time. You're never prepared for it. We got that last one, 1.7 seconds. I mean, there's a reason why they have the #1 spot in the paddock. They're just the fastest team in the biz right now. Then we got to hold the driver's steering wheel. This was such a cool experience. And sticking with the Red Bull theme, I was able to sit down with team principal Christian Horner last night, and we talked about all kinds of things. From how much he loves Montreal to superstitions. We chatted for a while, so here's part 1 of that interview with part 2 coming tomorrow. I'm joined by team principal for Red Bull Racing, Christian Horner. Thank you for doing this.
Pleasure.
The pleasure is all mine, honestly. First of all, I need to know, are the Canadians treating you well?
They're treating us incredibly well, yeah. Always
like
good to be back.
I wouldn't have it any other way. They're being polite to you, yes?
Very, very. It's always, Montreal's one of the highlights on the calendar.
You've had such an incredible run, not just obviously your team, but Max as well. So what has your team mindset been, and has it shifted at all, going from really an underdog to champions and having this champion run for some time now?
Well, I think you go from being the hunter to the hunted. So, we had a few years where we needed to get back into a competitive situation, but now we've got there. It's a matter of trying to keep that momentum rolling and, just taking it one race at a time, one event at a time, and trying to be at our best potential.
I heard you might be not quite superstitious, maybe a little stitious.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
You've got a couple of routines that you go through for race day. Can you take us through those?
Well, it's something I've always done since I drove myself, and just silly things really. So it's always, approaching the driver from the right-hand side when they're on the grid. It's, I'll always watch the start of the race from in the garage.
Okay.
So, little things like that. I always have a lucky toilet each Grand Prix. So that can be kind of inconvenient when there's 50 toilets, but the one lucky one is in use. But a few superstitions.
How did this all start, and which one started first? Was it the toilet?
The toilet started when I was 13. So I remember winning my first ever go-kart race, and I remember going to this loo. So it must be that because I had a pee in that loo. But so anyway, it just stuck with me when I was driving, and then all the way through. So if you see me hanging around toilets, you'll know why.
Come on, Daniel, this is how you open an umbrella.
Promo time!
Okay, this is super cool. It's the F1 augmented reality experience powered by Bell 5G, and it will be available on the TSN app Sunday for the race. This live AR experience lets you visualize the track in real-time 3D with live rankings, driver stats, circuit info, and more. And you already know I love tech and I love video games, so this has me written all over it. I hope you download the app and try it out for yourself. So go download that TSN app right now. And you can enjoy this exclusive augmented reality experience powered by Bell 5G. That's it for today. We'll see you here early tomorrow morning before the race. Have an amazing weekend.